Welcome back to Game Informer Video. I'm Ben Reeves, and I'm joined by my best friend Dan Tack.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Rabbids.
Yeah, Test Chamber Rabbids.
Whoa, we did not say that.
Oh,
whoa.
No. Sorry, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle is the name of the game.
Okay.
Slip of the tongue there. But Dan, I brought you on board because I recently got a chance to play this game, and this is me playing it.
Okay.
Footage me. And I wanted somebody to just really humble me and tell me how terrible I am at the game, and I figured you'd be really good at that.
Well, you know, I am.
Really
I am
lay it to me
excellent at
straight.
However, since I know way less about this game than you, I don't know how this can be possible.
Well, I don't know. You pick up on things pretty quick.
This looks like a tutorial fight also.
Yeah, this is actually early in the game, so
Okay.
we got a chance to play the first part of the game, and then we jumped ahead to World 3.
Okay, I'm interested
which
in
is
seeing World 3.
pretty late, because
Okay.
there's like 4 major overworlds.
So, this is XCOM with Rabbids and Mario, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, the XCOM influence is pretty obvious, I think, because you're moving across a gridded field, you have your characters here, I'm sort of like checking out their stats, and you're taking cover, you're shooting at enemies who are also in cover, but I think there's a few like noticeable differences.
Yeah,
from
let
this
me
and
ask
stuff
you
like
this.
XCOM.
Let me ask you this. Let's say you're a primary console gamer. You've never even thought about touching an XCOM or
Sure.
XCOM-like. Is this accessible from what you've played? Does this teach the rules of Overwatch and all that other really weird stuff in a way that's more digestible?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I think it does. I think it's a great little game. Here, I'm using one of the interesting mechanics you could say of this game is the fact that it's all very movement based, so you can jump off of your friends like I just did there.
Yeah, those Rabbids are crazy.
Get further into the field. So to answer your question, I think stuff like this, the fact that you can move and jump off enemies, you can do this at enemies too, and your friends, adds to the accessibility of the game. I think it is much more accessible than something like XCOM. I love XCOM, by the way. I think this kind of does a nice balance of the tactical depth of XCOM while also something that's like fairly friendly to newcomers. I think they hold your hand early on in the game, but then later in the game, like the strategy elements come into play. And it's not a total walk in the park. Like, I think there's some interesting strategic depth here.
Sure. Let me ask you this. I mean, one of the big elements of XCOM is, working a guy up and then something terrible happens and you lose him forever. That's obviously not the case here, right? Like,
yeah, I think here's me struggling to end the turn. But I think, yeah, that's definitely not the case here. You can lose enemies. In fact, you can lose characters. In fact,
characters. There's permadeath? What?
They die for the round, I should say.
Okay.
You can, die, quote unquote.
Yes.
But they're not dead permanently. They'll come back in the next battle. Sometimes there's multiple battles in a row where you have to manage your health through multiple battles, and then after you sort of end that checkpoint, you'll auto heal. So your guys kind of come back. So you never have to worry about losing a character completely. There's sort of set number. There's 8 characters to choose from, I believe.
Okay.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and then all the Rabbit versions of those characters.
Okay.
And they all perform fairly differently. I think Mario's a good all-around dude. His ability is being able to jump on enemies.
Hey, that's a skill he's had since the early years.
I don't know where Ubisoft got that idea that he could do that. So yeah, interestingly enough, though, Luigi can't do that.
No, what does Ouija do?
That's exclusive to Mario, which I thought was interesting. So Luigi, we might get to see him later on.
Okay.
He's kind of a sniper-like character. So he's got really long-range bullets, and he can take people out, and he has kind of an Overwatch move, and can take people out from far when it's their turn. It's great. So this is kind of experimenting. It's what's the best place to move my character? That part of XCOM is still present.
Yeah.
So you can figure out all right, I got to move in, hit the dude physically, and then take cover, and then I still had my action.
Got to shoot him.
And so you have your action, and then you also have your special move, which I haven't unlocked yet because this is one of the first battles in the game.
So that leads me to my next question. We've obviously the XCOM influence is worn on its sleeve big time here. What's the biggest diversion from that outside of the fact there's no permadeath, and is there a hub where you work up stuff too, like XCOM? Or is that not present?
Yeah, we didn't see the hub area, but there is a hub area in the game that we can't show off yet. But yeah, you can constantly go back to the battle HQ, so to speak, and tune up your guys. You have new weapons you can unlock. All the weapons have different stats on them. There's different like bonus stats, so to speak. So they might do honey damage, for example, which honey damage is sticky, so it's like kind of makes enemies have trouble moving. Or there might be like
I want to do some honey damage.
yeah, oh, best kind of damage, tastiest damage for sure. So but then there's also like a spring damage where it'll cause an enemy to like bounce across the field, or there's moves where it'll turn them to stone so they can't move for a little while. So there's a lot of variety to the different weapons. There's stuff obviously that set them on fire, stuff like that.
That's my favorite character right there.
The Peach one?
Princess Rabbid. Yeah.
She's... One thing I like about the game is the animation.
Does she have a selfie attack?
She has a selfie animation where she will like do a selfie, I think, after she kills a guy. But the animations in this game are great. You can just watch the dudes like pull weapons out of their hats and like move around, bouncing off each other. I think it's a really cool looking game. And kind of going back to your question about differences between this and XCOM, just the challenge we kind of talked about a little bit, although I think there is some depth to it the later into the game you get. I think the movement is really the biggest thing. Like, you only get a taste for it here because this is the first level.
Right.
But later on, like, Mario can get to the point where he can like jump on multiple enemies. So he might run in, slide into an enemy, do damage, then go and jump off a nearby enemy's head, and then double bounce off another guy's head, and then run and take cover. And then he can still do his like normal attack. So there's a lot of just you want to keep moving your characters around the battlefield. It's kind of a big thing for this game. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, biggest difference from something like this in XCOM.
Okay.
But I had a lot of fun with it. You can see him almost finished beating these guys.
Yeah, I can see that.
Taking my time, sort of figuring out where the best place to go is. There's the half cover, which does less protection than something like full cover.
I've heard of that
full
concept.
protection.
Yeah. I may have seen that in another game.
You may have seen that in one or more games. I can't think. So you mentioned XCOM, and like people who like XCOM obviously should be interested in checking this out.
I think they're already sold, right? Like,
yeah, I think somebody who's never played a strategy game too, they might look at this and be like, "Well, this is weird. You're sort of like moving across a grid,
but they got Mario
taking cover, and it's all turn-based. Like, it's not really like a normal turn-based game, but it is.
But there's Mario and Rabbids.
And there's Mario and Rabbids. I think this will be an interesting experience to see how people receive that kind of game.
I think it's bold.
And I think they should be excited
even if this game doesn't turn out amazing, whichever indication is that it will, I give them mad props for having the brass to put a game out this. I'm blown away.
Perfect.
Yeah, did.
Perfect.
Well done.
You can see some of the characters I have unlocked here. Luigi.
That's a lot of skills there.
Luigi.
Tell me about some of these weapons, man.
So each character has, these are all slowly unlocked throughout the game, but each character has a primary weapon and then a secondary weapon.
Oh god, she has a duck. She has a duck.
The duck is basically a grenade.
Yes, I'm into it. I'm so into it.
It's pretty good, actually. I used it a couple of times and blew people away.
Good lord, grenade ducks.
Have little sentry drones.
Okay.
Which you might have seen. I think Luigi had one where he can it's basically a mobile turret. So he sets it down, and then it functions as its own thing. Oh, who could that locked character be?
I don't know. Right next to Rabbid.
Yeah. I mean, what a mystery.
It's a real... And
then here's some of the weapons. Okay. You can see the secondary weapons, which for Mario are hammers. You can see some of the bonus bounce damage. That's like a percentage chance that you
pick the ones that suit the situation, right? So if you need a fight where you need to slow them down, you take the honey hammer.
Yeah, there's multiple options. There's some that do the same amount of damage, but their alternate damage type is different.
Right.
So it's kind of like, well, do I prefer this honey damage, or do I prefer to have it bouncing across the field?
Look at that. I want to play this game on this alone.
You're a big Rubber Ducky fan, right?
I am a huge duck fan.
Yeah. Duck.
Well, we play Grey Duck here, right?
This. Grey Duck. And then I kind of mentioned those turrets. Yeah. The turrets basically function, the mobile turrets, as their own individual unit. So they'll function on their own turn, and they'll run off to wherever you put them to go. And then when they get there, they'll blow up.
I'm sort of upset that you don't have the other ducks unlocked.
It takes time, man.
Yeah.
They got to give you something to look forward to. So there's, some stone damage. You can see
Whoa, what is this?
So here is a look at the upgrade tree. There's a lot of different options, and each character has their own like set of tree upgrades. And they have, you can see Mario's movements tree is pretty robust, and he's got a lot of options there. You can upgrade damage, obviously, but then you can upgrade like the amount of bounces you can do, stuff like that. Then you can also boost their attack, or they have like random stat boosts to like boost up your health or your run speed, stuff like that. So yeah, the nice thing here too about the trees is you can autofill them, which isn't unique, but you can also reset it, and that doesn't cost anything. So if you run up against a wall and you're like, I'm having trouble with this next
you can try once back and be like, well, this didn't work.
Yeah, you can be like, well, maybe the way my team is set up is no good, and I should try resetting their powers and maybe focus on like different attacks.
Okay.
So you can see Peach's dash move there.
Yeah. Okay,
so that was kind of cool.
What's the Roomba?
The Roomba?
Tell me about the Roomba.
His name is Beepo.
Okay.
And he is a little Roomba. He's just like a little robot thing that brings Mario and the Rabbids together and tells them like, oh, we got to go save the world.
Oh, that is
because there's a giant vortex opened up in the sky, and Rabbids are falling out of it, and they're ruining the Mushroom Kingdom.
I see.
And Beepo thinks that Mario can fix this problem, and he is a little like robot rabbit. That's about all I know about him so far. I don't know. He's a good guy.
Beepo's clearly the boss of the game, right?
He's the guy. So the one thing that threw me off is when I was playing the game is you follow Beepo in a line of characters, and he's the guy you're controlling, and then Mario and the Rabbids are
everyone else follows
him.
him. Okay,
and so it's like you got to remember that you're leading him along to collect coins and stuff. Sometimes I would constantly be looking at Mario and trying to be controlling Mario, and that was throwing me off a little bit.
So that asks the question: why do you control Beepo instead of Mario? That's
a good question.
A bizarre design choice for me.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that other than I think they added Beepo so they could have a character that was talking, because the Rabbids don't really talk normally, and Mario doesn't talk, so they needed a character to kind of like explain things.
That is one heck of a...
And that's why Beepo's
All right.
Well, this is an example of just sort of like the areas between the battles. There's these sections where you can wander around, collect coins,
pick up stuff,
open these chests which contain new weapons.
Oh, what happened to Beepo?
So I found a stone monument thing that I'm carrying around because I'm trying to figure out what it does. And there's this
shine light on the mirrors for
mirror puzzle, which I can try to solve here. And so I'm looking around, seeing what it does, and there are these puzzle sequences throughout the game, and Ubisoft has talked about that in the past. At E3 they mentioned there were going to be puzzle sequences, but we didn't really get a good idea of what that looked like up until now, and so this is one of the few puzzles we've seen so far, and it's kind of a, maybe traditional, you could say.
Yeah, shooting the light beam to get to the...
so I'm
we've done this.
All right, let's move this around. So that opens up that area. Now I can go get another stone and then use that again to like move the beam around even more to unlock the next area and so forth.
Bizarre.
This is a time trial, sort of similar.
Like a coin room.
Yeah. So you gotta like get all the coins. It took me a couple tries to do this actually.
Yeah.
Because the time is pretty short. And then you move that over there, grab that.
Okay, this is a little more
And I'm
complex.
trying to get to that last coin there. I did it.
Yeah.
And the purpose of this whole thing, this time trial, was just to get that box. And the box. What does we got for me?
It's Beepo. Oh, wait, that's not Beepo.
It's an unlock, so I got the
Bozo Boom.
Yep, it's a new duck for you, Dan Tack.
Oh, yeah. It is.
So that's how you unlock some of the new weapons.
Gotcha.
So it's actually worth exploring the world and trying to get those chests and unlocking.
Yeah, I mean, you got to if you want the clown duck. I mean, who doesn't?
That's right. So the new area, the Spooky Trail, this area they haven't shown yet.
Okay.
So this is entirely new. This is World 3, so it's later in the game. And each world is broken up into several different chapters. In this battle I'm going to see some boos. So boos are a new enemy we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, they've never been in any game ever.
Well, new to this game, yeah. But they kind of teleport around the battlefield. And if they find you, they'll grab your character and like teleport him off to another area.
Does it play off old school booze where if you look at them, they can't get you?
No, it doesn't quite work like that. You can see him teleporting. So they just teleported back to the center. And they might teleport out again the next round. And if they come in contact with you...
We got a pumpkin thing.
Yeah. So each zone has its own like theme on basic characters, like the hoppers, which have spring legs and can jump around. But yeah, the boos, so that if they come in contact with you, they'll teleport you across the battlefield. But that also works for enemies. So if a boo came across one of the enemies I'm fighting, they would teleport them across the battlefield too. So they're kind of just this element of chaos in the battle.
Oh wow, she just got crit with a vampiric attack.
Yep. Yeah, so like you would probably imagine.
Have to grenade these guys. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh,
so here's an example of my character just got killed. Got knocked out.
And this is in your first turn, yeah.
Yeah. This is a little bit later in the battle. So this is an example of a battle where I don't exactly need to beat all enemies. In fact, if I try to fight all those enemies, I'd pretty quickly get overwhelmed and die, most likely. The goal of this mission is actually to try to make it up to point up there to the top.
So you just have to maneuver to survive.
Yeah, I just have to maneuver around the battlefield and try to get one of my guys to get to that point. And then I can win the battle. So
right.
So Mario's like, well, if I jump off Peach, I'm close, but not quite there. So I'm going to go just take cover and try to hold out for one more round.
You're going through the pipes.
And then after the next round, I should be able to get up there and find safety.
There's no safing safe for them. Oh, wow. There we go. It's a good shot there,
They're coming
Mario.
for me, man. Oh, there you go.
The Inferno duck.
Use some duck. Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
Duck power.
Nice. Dude, I love ducks, man.
Took him out.
Yeah. Man, that attack right there, that was just quackers.
I know, they're moving around. What's going to happen?
I don't know, they're probably going to attack you.
Yeah, so that guy's really close to that boo. And if you walk past him, you can set him off.
He's having fun.
Yeah. I think the overall takeaway, Mario Rabbids, the strategy was actually deeper than I thought. So people are kind of coming into it thinking, oh, it's Mario and Rabbids, you know, it's kind of a kid's game. I don't think it's as hard as something like XCOM. I don't want to like scare people away, but
do you actually think that people still think Mario's like just for kids?
I mean, I'm not saying Mario's just for kids. I just think they're probably looking at this game and they're like, Mario Rabbids, strategy game. How hard is it really going to be, right?
That's fair.
Because I don't think anybody says like, oh, the Mario games are super challenging.
No, that's fair.
I mean, they can be sometimes, but... oh, so this is an example of like, I was talking about those movement abilities.
Yeah.
Peach has one bonus where if you jump off a character,
she does an AoE heal.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty cool.
So on a scale of 1 to maximum hypage, like Half-Life 3 or something, where does this lie on your roster right now?
Half-Life 3, interesting comparison.
Well, we're just going to use that as the just as the hallmark of all hype, even though it's not. I'm just off the top of my head, you know.
Sure, it's hard to match Half-Life 3, but I would say it's up there, you know. I mean, this is a game that he's using his one of his special abilities, so if like a guy comes in contact of him, he'll attack him.
Yeah, so it's Overwatch.
Yeah, it's basically an Overwatch move.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty hot on this game. I think it's going to be pretty good. I know we're like about a month out now at this point from the game's release. And, I mean, you can see, like, it looks really polished. Like, I didn't run into any bugs or any strange encounters, and other than, like, the other PR people I ran into at the event. But, yeah, it's it looks really good. Like, it's colorful and fun, and the strategy's engaging and interesting. So I think this is definitely... Especially right now when the Switch's library is pretty thin.
I was about to say, Switch
big
needs
game
games. This seems like a big one, man.
So that move that guy just used on me is a bounce attack, which totally knocked Peach out of the arena. If you can do that to enemies, they die instantly if you knock them out. For her, she just took extra damage, so she's almost dead. And then this guy's
just got charmed or something.
Yep, he's using the charm spell to like bring enemies in, which is pretty good. If you can do that to enemies, like bring them into one group, then you can use like an ultimate attack and like take multiples out at one time. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you, I would love to play this on a plane
You know what? It's
on the Switch.
that's the beauty of the Switch.
Just be
So
like-
here's Peach. She's making a run for it. She's gonna. I'm like, well, maybe I should try jumping off of him.
That way, when the guy next to me, like, you know, cracks open a pie midway through the flight, I just break this out and be like, yo,
Yo,
put the pie down
Pie?
and check this game out. Have you ever had that happen on a plane?
bring out a pie.
Yeah, straight up pie.
Like a pizza pie.
Like, no, I mean a pie. Like an actual, like, cherry pie. Just crack it
Sure.
open mid-flight and just start slicing that thing.
All right. Did he share with you?
No, he didn't. I didn't ask.
But I did it, Dan. This is actually a pretty rough battle,
Congratulations.
and I did good. Which I think I did great personally.
Moonlight Sonata.
But that's kind of a look at Mario Rabbids. What'd you think?
Well, let me tell you. I want another look.
Great. Well,
I
you can
think
look
it
all
looks
you
great.
want in
I
a
think
month
it-
when
I look-
Mario Rabbid comes out.
All right, I
and,
will. You know what?
August
I
29th.
will.
Thanks for watching, everybody.